Would this $200 backpack save your child's life? I put it to the test with Chip Holland at Gun Range USA in Memphis.
You hate to think you got to protect your kids while they're at school. It gives you a barrier to your most important parts.
Holland frequently conducts active shooter training. He's aware of all that can go wrong.
If this is something that would help someone to get away, if the backpack is taking the rounds and the person is not, so it could give you that moment to escape.
We stuffed the backpack with books and notepads, the way most would be carried around. Then we strapped it to the back of a dummy. Let's do this.
All right.
Our weapon, what's become the choice of mass shooters, a 9mm handgun.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
What are you expecting?
Expecting as many books in there, probably the books are going to do a lot. And that's where your 3 rounds hit there.
All right, let's open her up.
Made it through all 3 legal pads, got into the book, but didn't come out of it.
The books alone were enough to stop the bullet, so we removed the largest book and tried it again. The armor built into the backpack absorbed all the bullets. The National Institute of Justice certified this backpack to defeat a 9mm round, but not that of an AR-15.
Attack! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Mike O'Neill is exactly what you would expect in a head football coach. Intense.
Get off the football, man. Move!
Direct.
I'm looking at you, Upchurch. I need you to attack it.
And like any coach, O'Neill prepares his players for the unexpected.
When you guys are pulling, get a fit on those linebackers. Or hit that end. Blow them out of the gap, man.
But last season, he was the one blown away. At first, it was just a sore throat.
They told me to gargle. Started, in my mind, I started feeling better a little bit.
But he wasn't. He ignored it for most of the football season until his head coach made him go back to the doctor.
My wife was doing her research on the side, and she had in the back of her mind that we were dealing with something much bigger.
And like most wives, she was right.
I got the news the week that we played our biggest rival, Houston High School. Squamous cell carcinoma in my tonsil.
O'Neill says even harder than hearing the news was telling his team. Just moments after what might have been the biggest win of the year, the coach broke the news.
I told them directly after the game, after a big kind of a last-second win, and they were all happy to, wow, you know, I think it took the air out of him.
It was devastating, you know, to hear that, you know, when your mentors, when the guys you look up to, has to fight for his life.
Just gave us extra motivation to work hard. We knew he was going to be back, but we didn't know he was going to be back that early. But I'm glad he's back and can't wait to go out there and compete.
That's it. That's it.
Each day that he was going to make it past this tough situation.
Attack! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
There's that word again, attack. That's exactly what O'Neill did.
I thought, man, throw everything you got at me. I can do this.
Days later, he was in Houston at MD Anderson Medical Center. 33 radiation treatments over 3 months.
And they put a mask on me, bolted me down to a table.
Chemotherapy for another 2 months, and it was brutal. But 5 months later, O'Neill was back in Collierville. This fall, he hit the field with the same intensity he's had for the last 7 years as head coach of the Dragons, with one little twist.
I have found that if my voice gets too loud, there's a place in my head that kind of hurts a little bit, that kind of, so I've had to lower the tone a little bit. I'm not.
Was that place there before?
It wasn't there before.
So I got it now.
It's there now, and that could be effects of the radiation. You know, I always like to think of myself as a glass half full type person, and now it's glass full.
What is that first night on the sidelines back going to be like for you? How nervous will you be?
Well, you know what? I got it. Part of my job will be to control those nerves, because
Will you be able to?
I say yes. I'm sure my assistant coaches will disagree with that, maybe. Pop it, pop it, pop it!
It takes Carolyn Pierce 35 to 40 minutes to get to her fast food job. She walks. Work starts at 4:30 in the morning. One time, it took her an hour.
What happened? I don't know. I guess my legs don't be wanting to go. What's wrong with your legs?
Well, I got the gout in my knee, and I got the pins in my ankles.
She doesn't complain about that. What she wants is to work more hours. I looked at her pay stubs. She brings home a steady amount of less than $500 a month.
How do you do that?
It's not easy, it's hard.
Food, rent, utility bills, take it all.
I can't pay all of them out of one check.
She's been employed by the same company going on 15 years. It's a family tradition. Her mother, Ethel Pierce, worked for the same company 33 years. And she also walked to work from their Fraser home to Methodist Central in Midtown. Nearly 20 miles round trip. It wore her out.
She died walking.
She did?
Yeah.
What?
She died right there by the fish market down there.
She had a heart attack?
Mm-hmm.
Your mom died walking.
Yeah.
And now you are walking to your job. You're never late.
No.
That's a legacy, isn't it?
Yeah.
A legacy of hard work and, unfortunately and far too often, predictably, a legacy of poverty.
Karen Smith's life changed for the better because of her dog.
I have a dog who is highly anxious.
At her wit's end, she gave her a few drops of CBD oil.
She just lays down and is relaxed.
The former hairdresser suffered from chronic shoulder pain and a terrible case of plantar fasciitis. She figured it couldn't hurt to try the oil herself. Karen says she takes about 5 drops of the oil under her tongue every day.
Within like 3 weeks, my shoulder was 90% better, and in 6 weeks, my foot was almost completely, it was gone.
CBD stands for cannabidiol. It's extracted from the hemp plant, marijuana's non-threatening cousin. The active ingredient is THC, like that found in marijuana, but in much lower doses.
It does not make you high.
Cannabidiol is legal in every state. Hemp looks like marijuana, as you can see from these pictures that Lucky Leaf Processors and Hemphis Farms shared with us. We found some doctors in Memphis are already urging their patients to try CBD oil instead of opioids.
I like your socks. You're showing off your shoes today.
Dr. Robert Burns is a gerontologist in Memphis. He researched these oils. He says they have a viable biologic basis for working.
For people who have pain, either neuropathic pain, they've got a disc that's bad, or they've got bad arthritis, it does seem to help.
I was totally desperate.
Sherry Henson went to a series of doctors for nearly 2 years to find relief from nerve pain.
Nothing was working, and I didn't like taking the muscle relaxers and the opioids. I didn't like the way it made me feel. I was worried I was going to get addicted.
She saw Karen Smith's Facebook post about her experience and decided she had nothing to lose. A few weeks later,
overall, I'm pretty much pain-free.
Smith and Henson agree there is a stigma about using cannabidiol because of its relationship to marijuana, but they agree with Dr. Burns that with this legal option,
We may not need medical marijuana, or this may be a good alternative, and probably a cheaper alternative.
Downside, Dr. Burns says side effects can include dizziness or nausea, and he has concerns because sales of this oil are not regulated.
It is buyer beware.
When buying CBD or hemp oil, Dr. Burns says make sure the product has been verified by an outside company and pay attention to the numbers on the bottle, like 500 and 1,000.
The higher the number, the more concentrated the CBD oil is. So if you're buying 1,000 milligrams in a bottle, it's twice as strong as a 500. So you're not going to use the same dose.
It's about like 10 gunshots. Something came from like a powerful rifle or something, you know. It was real loud. Pow, 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 pow.
This man, who doesn't want to reveal his name because of fear of retaliation, says he jumped down on the floor in his home after hearing several gunshots Thursday morning.
You know, I just laid back down, and so I guess it had to be like an hour ago. And I got up and it came out, I seen all the police cars down here.
Memphis police are working to learn what led to 2 deaths after the victims were shot before crashing their car near Jackson and Springdale. The victims were rushed to Regional 1 Hospital, where they later died. Officers surrounded this car on Jackson, where the back of the window is completely gone and the front of the car is crushed.
This is what the world is coming to now, you know. You know, you have to come outside and fear your life every day. I mean, simply driving down the street.
Police say they believe the victims were the targets of the shooting, and this doesn't appear to be a random act. Officers investigated a second crime scene on Jackson near Hollywood, not far from the intersection where this car crashed. Neighbors say this is the area where they heard the gunshots before the crash happened.
It's very frustrating. It makes you concerned about what's going on in your neighborhood and what's going on with the young people in this world today.
I love what I do, man. I love making people look good.
Keith Matthews was on a mission today, a mission of giving.
Even though we're doing it for a good cause, I'm still gonna act like I'm getting paid.
Keith is one of the dozens of volunteers who gave their time and their talents at the Cook Convention Center. Haircuts, eye exams, some of the basics everyone needs, but not everyone gets.
We believe housing is a basic human right and that no person should live on the street.
The number of people living on the streets of Memphis has been on a steady decline. According to the Community Alliance for the Homeless, which sponsored today's event, the unsheltered population of Memphis has decreased by about 75% since 2012. But there are still too many who need days like today just to get by. And as the winter approaches, the Community Alliance has its own needs, so it can better serve the unsheltered.
We need more emergency shelters for females, families with children, just overall, we need more shelters. And of course, we're still accessing our community resources for housing opportunities.
There were a lot of smiles today.
And I got my cat right here looking like new money. Smile for the camera, baby.
On an extremely chilly Sunday morning in Dyersburg, one thing became abundantly clear at dawn. The overnight snow made it through the evening.
No, I'm not used to this weather.
It's like real slippery out here. It's hard to drive, keep the steering wheel straight.
We spoke with Dion Folks moments before his SUV did this slide inside a gas station parking lot. The cold weather is something Folks says he's adjusting to. Are you used to ice and snow?
Not really. This is my first time driving on ice.
And to put everything into perspective, you can see over my shoulder here, the road is pretty clear and drivers are taking it easy.
Yeah, we was back and forth sideways about 4 or 5 times.
So we pounded the pavement with Fox13's traffic tracker to check out the area. Many of the roads were clear, but we did run into some slippery conditions in medians and turning lanes. Like about right here, we hit a corner and slid a bit. A prime example of why city officials are urging drivers to slow down. Folks says it's a message he's going to listen to.
Yesterday it was real icy and snowing. It was sliding a little bit. So yeah.
What went through your mind when you slid?
Oh Lord. Hoping I wouldn't crash.
Reporting in Dyersburg, Tony Atkins, Fox 13 News.
Yes, baby.